beef broth, Louisiana hot sauce, yellow mustard, a yellow onion, vegetable oil, center cut pork chops. We got us some garlic powder, got us some onion powder, parsley flakes, good old paprika, salt, ground black pepper, some molten seasoning oil, and we also got us some all-purpose flour here. Now let us get started. First you want to clean and rinse your meat, and then you want to get that all patted dry. You don't want all that moisture in there. Put that in the mixing bowl, and now we're ready to get started on our chef-full smothered pork chop recipe. Now you know what you want to do now. You want to run your dishwater so you can keep everything clean and nice and sanitary and save yourself a lot of work. So get that nasty out of there. Make sure that water hot. Now here you go. We want to go to seasoning our center cut pork chops here. Got a nice little marble on them too. So as you can see here, we come across the top here with a little bit of our onion powder. And then after we get our onion powder in there, we gonna double bite with that good old garlic powder, Babadia. And we gonna top that off too. Once we hit it with that garlic powder, we pretty much ready to go. You know, them the basics right there, baby. And you need that black pepper too. But before we do that black pepper, we gonna come behind that with some seasoning oil by Morton's. Come over the top. We don't need no whole bunch of that there because we gonna put a little bit of salt in there too. So yeah, get that Morton in there. And yeah, we on our way to making them good old smothered pork chops. Sure is. So we got our seasoning all in there. And here we go with our ground black pepper. And we finna hit it over the top. Boop, boop, boop. There we go, baby. Look at that. And this here potent too, man. We don't need no whole bunch of this black pepper here. I don't know what it is about this brand here, but it sure is strong. Gonna set it off for you. Now here we go with our paprika. You know, give us that nice little brown color that we like to get in here whenever we cooking anything. So we gonna come over the top with our pappy, you know. And you wanna do this for both sides, and you wanna pat the seasoning in. You don't wanna wipe it and rub the seasoning off there. You wanna pat it down in there. So that was our paprika. Now, for our next hit, we gonna come behind that with a little bit of white table salt. And you don't need no whole bunch of this, because remember, you put this seasoning all on there. You wanna get you just enough. And here we go, patting it. And once you get this all nice and patted down, what you wanna do is flip it over and repeat these same steps on the next side. Chef-o got them gloves on, getting all that patted down in there, and we went to flipping them. There was 6 in the pack here. Center cut pork chops, got a decent thickness on them. Yes. But we ain't gonna make y'all sit through this and watch us season it all again. You know, we just flipping them over. But we gonna keep progressing on and moving through this thing here. Like, share, and subscribe. Get in the comments, let us know how you make your smothered pork chops. And hit that notification bell so you can stay tapped in as well. But there we go, right there. So after you get your second side seasoning, you want to return them pieces of pork chop to your mixing bowl, put you some Louisiana hot sauce and mustard, and get that all rubbed in and incorporated. Now you want your 1.5 cups all-purpose flour and 1.5 cups of cornstarch for crispiness, and just put a light bit of seasoning in there, a little bit of paprika, a little bit of that Morton seasoning all in there. You know, just a couple of your seasons. You don't need all of them, you just need some of them. And you want to put a light seasoning on your flour, your seasoning rinds, you know. So we gonna put a little bit of that, and we gonna get our whisk here, as you can see in the bowl, and we gonna come and whisk that together and get a little bit of seasoning in that flour. This how we do it over here on the Chef-O channel. Look at that. Look at this here. Any lumps in there, you want to break them up. You want to get everything broke down and fine and grind up, you know, for you transfer them to your Ziploc bag. Now here we go, we got us a skillet here, and we getting ready to start our frying. We just want to heat our grease up. So you're gonna get you a nice amount of that little vegetable oil over in there. Look at that there. Yes, yes, yes. And you want to let that heat up to a certain degree. Flick some flour, some water, and you go to crackling. So here we go, we're frying in batches of 3 because we only got 6 pork chops here. So, you know, we're gonna add a little bit to our Ziploc bag of flour, and we're gonna go to pulling them out, shake off any excess, and lay them down flat on a plate or a wire rack or whatever it is you got, and let them rest for a few minutes. Now our grease still heating up, so we flouring right now, making good time, baby. Yes, yes, yes. Nice, easy recipe. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. Yes, yes. Old Chef O want to thank everybody that's been tapping in and checking out the episodes. We really appreciate y'all. Old Chef O love y'all. Here we go. That grease now is right where it need to be. Look at that sizzle. So we come behind that, we lay down one piece, then we gonna lay down another piece over there in that hot grease, and then we gonna come behind that with yet another. And you want to let this here fry from anywhere from probably 7 to 10 minutes. Old Chef O just did 7 because when we make the gravy, it's going to cook the rest of the way in the gravy anyway. But 7 minutes is enough to get it cooked up anyway. So here we are 7 minutes in, and we still want to flip it, you know. The coke came off that one right there a little bit, but don't worry about that. That's all just going to make good gravy. So we put a flip on our second piece there. Look at that pretty brown color. Yes, yes, yes. Look at that there. And these are center cut pork chops. Hold it up, let you get a good view of that. Golden brown color. Full of flavor. Sure is. So we want to flip that over and do the same thing on that side. Let that lay down in there for about 7 minutes. And then we want to remove them. And then once we remove them, you want to sit them on a wire rack, a paper towel, whatever, and come back with your second batch. Center cut pork chops, baby. That's 1 down. That's 2 down right there. And we finna come behind it with that final piece. And you ain't got to do away with your flour just yet, because you're gonna need that flour to make your gravy. Sure is. Now here we is right here. We've been frying, so we gonna go ahead after them 7 minutes and flip that over. As you can see, the meat done buckled a little bit. When it get that little bubble in that pork chop there, that's because the meat done buckled. Chef O should have clipped them with a knife or something so it didn't buckle, but it's all good, baby. We still gonna eat good. So we gonna flip them 3 over right there, let that roll for another 7 minutes. And then what you wanna do is sit them aside too on your wire rack and paper towel. And you wanna discard some of that old grease, but not before we get another little look at that pretty brown there. So we done saved our grease and put that to the side. Who knows, that'll go to frying something else or make some smothered potatoes. Who knows what that's gonna make. So we put onion in strips in here, and we went to sauteing that with that little bit of oil that was left while we start to deglaze our pot and get all that crust and all that flavor and that fond, which is the proper term for it, off of the bottom of there. So you wanna saute this for at least 5 to 7 minutes. Get that oil all on there and get them things to sweat, get them onions to sweating so you can deglaze the bottom of that pot. And once the onions go to sweating in that pot, get the deglazing, the next thing you want to do is you want to go to adding you some flour to this here. Yes, yes. But make sure you get your wooden utensil, not no metal, and scrape down that fine. That's going to make all the difference in how this going to taste when all this is over. A lot of people don't know how to make gravy, but this is how you make gravy. Onion gravy to be exact. You saute your onions in that little bit of oil, and you scrape all that there off the bottom in the process while you're doing it. So this is Chef O smothered pork chop, and we're teaching you how to make the gravy too. We could have just made it. So here go a tablespoon here of our flour and cornstarch mixture. And we gonna come behind that with 2 more tablespoons of that mixture. Yes, 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 as you can see here. That's number 3 right there. Throw that off in the dishwater, get your utensil and get the mixing. So what you wanna do is you wanna cook this and saute this down for probably about another 7 to 10 minutes. I prefer 10 minutes because you wanna cook that taste out of that flour. You wanna cook that flour down and brine it, and you wanna get all that up out of there. Now here we are 10 minutes later, as you can see, all that white out of there, and them things been sauteed down real good. So the next thing we wanna do, we wanna add us a carton of beef broth. Now you can use chicken broth, and this is 16 ounces here, or you can use water and bouillon, or you can just use some water and season up your water, however you want to make your gravy. But I like the flavor of the beef broth and the chicken broth. So we adding our 16 ounces of collagen beef broth to the mix. And this is our gravy right here that's finna formulate. Yes, yes. So what you want to do is you want to bring this here up to a simmer. But before you do that, in this bowl here, we got a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of parsley, a teaspoon of salt and pepper, and a teaspoon of paprika. Now I did put a tad bit more of white salt over in the top of there, probably about 1/3 of a teaspoon in there, and we got that all stirred in and mixed in and incorporated, and we waited for our gravy mixture to come up to a boil. So when you're making your gravy, the flour that you cooked into it is gonna thicken it along the way during the cooking process. So as you can see here, we starting to come up to that simmer. We got a light simmer forming. You can see that liquid jumping around there in the pot, getting you all ready for when you introduce your pieces of meat back to the mix. Yes, yes, yes. Old Chef O making that good old gravy. Smothered pork chop. Anybody can make it. Made this here with some jasmine rye and some mixed vegetables. So look at that little simmer forming up in there. Look at that there. You can see it coming. Look at that there. Look at this here. Man, look at this here. 1 piece of pork chop down in the pool. There we go. Yes, yes, yes. 2 pieces of pork chop down in the pool. We want to make sure they down in there. Now, I forgot to tell you that I added a tablespoon of minced garlic to the mix too. Another thing, take your gravy to the next level. 3 pieces of pork chop down in the pool. Now, out of the 6, I had set 1 to the side so it could be plain, and the rest of them went in the gravy. You know, we got to have a little variety sometime. So we done laid that down in there, and we gonna come across with us 1 more piece of pork chop in the mix. Yes, yes, yes. Now once you do this here, you really just wanna cover it and let it simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes. And once you let it simmer for 20 to 25 minutes, that's all you need. You know, you wanna come probably halfway through and go to basting and spooning some of your gravy over the pieces of meat that may be sticking up. But here we is right here, about halfway through that process. That gravy done went to thickening up. Them onions got that thing all flavored down and tasted nice. I had tasted it too, and it was right. It was on point, just where it needed to be. So as you can see, I'm basting here with that gravy. Yes, yes, making sure our meat ain't dry. Spooning that over the top of there, and that gravy done got even thicker. And we at the end here. This here done been about 25 minutes. Now we had the plate up. They got our mixed vegetables and our rice. We got that nice little onion gravy over that rice, and we gonna hit this over the top with a little bit of chopped parsley. Sure is. You know we gonna hit it with that. Make this here gourmet. Look at this here. Look at this here. Man, look. You better get you some of this here. You can't beat this here. That's how you make Chef O smothered pork chop and gravy. And this is a subscriber request recipe for Napoleon Armstrong. That's Chef O, older brother. he requested this here smothered pork chop. So this here for him. Look at here, bro. Man, look at here. Look at that. Look at here. Man, look at here. Boy, you better make you some of this here. Sure better. Like, share, and subscribe. Get in the comments and let us know how you like the recipe or how you like to make your smothered pork chop. And hit that notification bell so you can stay tapped in as well. Old Chef full love, y'all, baby. Old Chef full love, y'all. But you still ain't getting nothing to eat.